Maisa Morrar Do No Harm Coalition speaks to at hearing of 78 protesters facing charges as hundreds who blocked Bay Bridge demanding a ceasefire in Gaza during APEC summit gathered outside San Francisco Criminal Court on Monday. Brontë WittpennChronicle Outside Hall of Justice. Katrina Welker holds a sign at Monday's hearing of 78 protesters facing charges after hundreds blocked the Bay Bridge to demand a ceasefire in Gaza during APEC summit. Brontë WittpennThe Chronicle As first of nearly 80 people arrested for blockading Gulf Bridge during last month's APEC summit appeared court on Monday. They and their supporters gathered to pack courts in another show of support for ceasefire Gaza. The group, about 200 people standing on front steps of San Francisco Hall Justice, also called on District Attorney Brooke Jenkins drop all charges related to November protest, in which demonstrators blocked access San Francisco over bridge for several periods. The Arab Resource and Organization Center, which helped organize the courthouse rally, said 78 people who attended the bridge demonstration were charged with unlawful public assembly and other misdemeanors. Organizers said 2 other people who witnessed the incident were also charged. The rally was held shortly before the first alleged demonstrators were scheduled to appear in court. Many people gathered at the courthouse and held signs renewing calls for a ceasefire in Gaza and urging President Joe Biden to halt military aid to Israel. After rally, many of demonstrators lined up to enter courthouse and filled hallways outside courtroom where hearings were scheduled. Jenkins announced late last week that his office was charging the protesters with an unlawful public assembly. The charges include false imprisonment, refusing to comply with peace officer, refusing to disperse riot, and obstructing public street. District Attorney's Office spokesman said. Asked comment on calls to drop charges against demonstrators, Jenkins referred remarks he made on Friday in which he said free speech could not endanger public safety. She said the bridge demonstration was disrupting traffic and required enormous public resources to resolve it. EmilyRose Johns, lawyer who represented them at first hearing, said 17 of defendants appeared before judge but did not enter a plea because they wanted time to consult with their lawyers. The defendants each face 5 misdemeanors, and dozens more protesters are expected to be arraigned throughout the week. Johns said. Johns, who previously represented people arrested at Black Lives Matter demonstrations in the Bay Area, called the charges provocative and said they were unusual after nonviolent protests. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian demonstrators calling for a ceasefire flocked to the bridge, halting traffic for 4 hours until they were forced onto sheriff's buses. In addition to hours of bridge traffic, the protests also delayed the transplantation of at least 3 organs.